giving all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Al Shai, Hashem, Rukakwadash, Shalom to the 144,000, the rest of you elect out there, Shalom to all. And I'm going to let's see where the Spirit takes me. I'm going to try to make this short, but let's see where the Spirit goes with this. But sometimes I think I'm going to do a short video, then the Spirit leads me into a video that could be a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours long. I don't think that video will be nowhere near that long, but let's see where the Spirit takes me. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video 5 Cities in the Land of Egypt. The importance of calling on the name or names of the Lord and His Son. The fact that we teach, we're out there on the highways and byways, YouTube and so forth, and we teach, and there's been a big following. Matter of fact, from the handful of camps that stem from the One West, former One West, such as ISBK, GMS, IUIC, not necessarily in that order. Then you had like AOC, and then you had others. But the ones that have big numbers, you know, IUIC's got a big number, GMS big numbers, ISBK big numbers. Then you got Sakari big numbers, and then you got other camps that watched, you know, maybe some of GMS, some of ISBK, and some of IUIC, and kind of did, you know, unity camps and so forth, and like what this camp said, but didn't like what the other camp said, and kind of pick and choose what they're going to use from each individual camp. So one of the things that we stress on is prophecy, as the chat GPT says, and I'm on it right now. As you can see, what I put in was Isaiah 19 and 18. So you have all these camps. We went out there on the highways and the byways. Spirit opened us up to YouTube, and then of course you have other platforms. You got Clubhouse. You got you got Tweet at one time, which is X. You got Rumble. You got Odyssey. At one time we were doing live. We were the first to do live streams on Ustream. And then we went from Ustream to doing videos, live videos on YouTube. And later on, IUIC started doing live videos. They did it after we did it. And I don't know exactly when ISUPK started doing actual live videos, but it was kind of around the same time, you know? But anyway, you have a lot of different Israelite camps, a lot of break off from other camps, a lot of brothers that watch different camp for One Westers, and kind of can't put together something from that camp and this camp and the other camp. I don't like that. I'm gonna take that out, and kind of put their own thing together. So they roll up on us. We're gonna tell them, no, well, you're off on that, or they can go to IUIC, and IUIC said, no, you're off on this. Or ISUBK, no, you're off on that. No, but I teach what you teach on that. Yeah, but you don't teach the whole truth the way, let's say ISUBK, IUIC, GMS teaches it. So one of the things that we have a problem with is if you say you're a prophet and you're an Israelite and you're part of One West, meaning if you've never been at One West, you set up a camp based on watching former members of One West, the break-offs, right? So one of the problems we have, if they say, well, why don't you guys and IUIC get together? Well, we couldn't get together because they don't call on the name of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. And they teach other things, which I'm not going to get into. But the name, as we say here, is important, is extremely important to know. And this is how you know a man is a prophet, whether he's a prophet or not. So I'm just going to read this. I'm going to analyze it a little bit, and then I may even go to the Bible commentary, the Bible Hub. So this is Isaiah 19 and 18. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, which is Hebrew, and answer to Yahweh of hosts of armies. One shall be called the city of destruction. Egypt and the city of destruction is the same thing. This is talking about the new Egypt, a spiritual Sodom and Egypt, pursuant to Revelation 11 and 8. Key points. In that day, a prophetic phrase often indicating a future time of divine intervention or transformation. We say it's talking about now. This line right here, in that day, is talking about now. We're in that day. We're months away from that day. The time of Jacob's trouble is that day. The time of the Lord's visitation is that day. 5 cities in the land of Egypt. Now we know it's not talking about actual Egypt or Mizraim. 5 cities in the land of Egypt. Symbolic of a partial but significant shift within Egypt toward worshiping the Most High of Israel. So 5 represents a part of something. So you don't have every city in every state of America with a camp, but you have major camps. You know, you got New York, you got Chicago, you got Texas, Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas. I don't know about El Paso, Texas, or Humble, Texas, or a Arlington, Texas. Just to name a few cities in Texas. You got in California, you have certain camps out there. Among IUICs out there, GMS is definitely out there. ISUPK is out there. Sakari originated from out there. So you can't go, you go throughout America, you're not gonna every 10 blocks you go, you're gonna see a camp. Every city you're gonna see a certain small segment of major cities that you're gonna see these Israelites. You might see IUIC, right? You might see, ISUPK. You might see Sakari. You might see a break off. There was a lot of break off from Sakari. I just found out last night. I believe it was Dallas. I believe that's Dallas. You had the Dallas Sakari, which you had the brother with the darker brother with the short dreads. They got a new camp because they didn't mention that on the T-shirt. It says, was it Masada? So I said, oh, I don't know if they broke off or they just have another name or they completely broke off of that scandal. But a lot of them broke off before the scandal and after the scandal and during the scandal. So you got a lot of different groups out there with various different names that stem from Sakari. And then you still got Sakari, right? So it said 5 cities in the land of Egypt. So we know spiritually, that's why it says in that day. So we know everything that's written here is talking about in that day, future. In that day, a prophetic phrase. When I say in that day, that means it's coming, whether it's next week, next year, whatever. A prophetic phrase, often indicating a future time of divine intervention or transformation. We are being transformed, right? From not knowing that we're Israelites to knowing that we're Israelites and being teachers of Israel. 5 cities in the land of Egypt, a segment of this spiritual Egypt, symbolic of a partial but significant shift within Egypt, spiritual Egypt, toward worshiping the Most High of Israel. You notice of when the Israelite groups, and I'll mention the major ones, the IUICs, the ISUPKs, the GMSs, the Sakaris, the AOCs, which was another One West group, which they're not out there like they used to be. Then you got these other jump off camps. This thing of us encountering Christians, you know what Christians, we made Christians better because Christians, they're going into the scriptures now like we go into it. They go into root words, they go into maps, they'll go into translation, they'll say, well, that's the Greek. They didn't do that before. Basically, a Christian will come up and bring pretty much one scripture, John 3:16. They don't bring that up too much anymore because you know what? Let's go to the Greek. The Greek word is cosmos, so now they know the difference between when you come across the word world, the word world doesn't mean the same thing throughout the Old and New Testament. It depends on the context, it depends on the translation, and they have to agree that the New Testament was written in Hebrew and in Greek, but it was all translated into Greek, from the Greek, the Vulgate, the Latin. You had the Septuagint, which goes back during the time of the Greek rule, and that the Septuagint was written for the Israelites that only spoke Greek. Then you had the King James, you had the Vulgate, which is in Latin. Then you had the King James, you had the Geneva, you had these various other. Then you got these new translations, right? It says 5 cities in the land of Egypt. So we know that this is not talking about ancient Egypt. We know that this is talking about a what? A prophetic phrase often indicated a future event, time, or event of divine intervention or transformation. So we say that this is America. And we say the 5 cities represent a segment of America, of the landmass, symbolic of a partial. Because when the microchip comes out, that's going to be a wake-up call for these other Israelite groups. That's going to make Israel, these Israelites that don't know that they're Israel, don't accept it, watch videos, they're going to see it. They're going to be confronted with, oh, you got to get the chip. And they said, I heard a video about it. I heard IUIC teach it, but they didn't say you got to get it if it's talking about sin. But then I heard it's going to be watch how big of a shakeup that prophecy is going to make due to the masses of the people. That's going to be a major, major, major prophecy that's going to shake the people. A major transformation in your mind. That's when people are going to say, let me get down with the Israelites. Let me get down with, there's a IUIC camp down the street. Let me get with them, bro. Because I don't want to get that. Or they may get it and not know that they shouldn't get it. Whatever the case may be. Then there's going to be more arguments. You're going to have more people kind of subscribing to the GMS thing to really get, because they in the back of their mind, they say, I don't know, man. GMS might have been right all the time. We're living in a serious time of prophecy. 5 cities in the land of Egypt, symbolic of a partial but significant shift within Egypt toward worshiping the Most High of Israel. So who's going to be the true worshipers of the Most High Israel? The Israelites, the one that say that they're Israelites. So the question should come up, well, who are the Europeans over there in Egypt and Israel today? It says, speak the language. They're going to speak the language of Canaan. When you go to the language of Canaan, matter of fact, I'm not gonna say it. I'm going to go to it. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you. Okay. Okay, I was looking at Article 5 of the NATO Charter earlier. Language of Canaan. Let's see what comes up. You know what comes up? Let me go to images. Yeah, you know what? The language of Canaan, also referred to as Hebrew in some context, or Phoenician Hebrew. It's not a single language, but rather a family of closely related dialects, including Phoenician, which is the Greek way of saying Canaan, Moab, because they were part of that region. Edom should be here, because they were part of it. So Edom, when Jacob and Esau were talking to each other, they was both speaking Hebrew. And Hebrew. Hebrew is the only Canaanite language that survived as a living language today. So we're going to speak the language of Canaan, meaning Hebrew. When a baby says mama, dada, gimme, doggy, they're speaking, no, he ain't speaking English. He only knows 5 words. Well, that's English. He's speaking English. Though it was revived as a spoken language in the late 19th and 20th century, that goes into Ben Yehudi, Yitzhak Perlman. He's considered the father of modern Hebrew because they had to create, remember, they had to create the state of Israel. So they had to get these Europeans and tell them, you're Jews, you are Jews. And they weren't speaking Hebrew. So they had to actually create, they had to get this guy, he was one of the key guys. Matter of fact, let me do this. I said Yitzhak Perlman, right? Who is the father of modern day Hebrew? Let's see what comes up. Let me put in the who. Who? The who. Who is the founder of modern day Hebrew? Eleazar ben Yehudi. No, you said it's Yitzhak Perlman. Okay. Born Eleazar Yitzhak Perlman. He's a Russian Jew. Now he could be a Jake. Eleazar ben Yehuda, or for Yehuda, he wrote you got this dictionary we used to use called the Hebrew English Hebrew English Hebrew dictionary, the Ben Yehuda. You say, yo, give me the Ben Yehudi or the Ben Yehuda. Is widely considered the founder of the modern Hebrew. He was a Lithuanian Jewish linguist. He studied languages, right? Not just the Hebrew. And lexicographer who spearheaded the revival of Hebrew as a spoken language. Why? Because those Europeans that they had to create the state of Israel, they wasn't speaking Israel. So he, in his household, he made statements. He said that the Arabs, the language that they speak, the Arabic, he said that's real Hebrew. Then he said, I borrowed a lot of Arabic words for the modern Hebrew. But he did say that. If you go back 5 years of Google, it tell you that it's hard to find now. But he did make a statement that good luck in trying to find it. May the Most High be with you. And you may be able to find it. But he said that the real Hebrew, the Arabic wrote, and he kind of gave it a little different, kind of tweaked it, Now, in his household, he spoke English. I guess he spoke German. I don't know. His household language, he was Lithuanian. So I guess he's speaking German, maybe some English. This was in the 1920s. And he spoke Hebrew. He made his household, him, his wife, he had a daughter and a son. And he told his wife, when you go around my son, don't say anything in German and English or nothing. Every time you talk to him, because I think he was a toddler, anytime you talk to him, you got to talk to him in the Hebrew that I invented. So that's all the boy knew was that form of Hebrew. And which his Hebrew, we say, is on point. The fact that he say Arabic like Abba. In Arabic is Abu. Bun is son. In Arabic is Ibn. They say salam alaikum. Yahweh Shai said salam alaikum. In the New Testament, he said salam alaikum. He said, how did he say it? Peace be unto you, or peace be unto you all. Is salam alaikum. Shalom, peace, al, to, or upon, come, meaning like you all. Peace to you all. That's what he said. So he's considered the father of modern Hebrew. So how did we learn it? We had to follow the small hats because they learned it from this guy. No different than Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. The Japanese lost the art because it was a deadly art, so they said we outlawing Jiu-Jitsu. So now you got Judo, which is a gentle form. Judo means gentle way. So the Japanese had to kiss the ass of the Brazilians, of the Gracies, to learn the ancient art of Jiu-Jitsu. But who was the founders of Jiu-Jitsu? Japanese. So it's the same thing with us. We had to get back our culture by the most part through these. That's why you have certain Israelite groups that they'll say the Messiah never came because they're following the non-Messianic people. Okay, so now let me come back over here. Where did I go? Okay, let's just come back over here. So it says, speak the language of Canaan. Where? In Egypt. Prophetic Egypt. Speak the language of Canaan. So even at one time I knew about maybe 200 plus words. Me and High Priest Ariel used to have whole conversation in Hebrew. There's one brother, Shalimar, a lot of y'all didn't know this guy. He was able to speak fluent Hebrew. He was able to hold a full-on conversation with a small hat, then turn around and have a conversation in the ancient Hebrew. He was able to read it like you would read it. Like if you're a fast reader in English, he would read the Hebrew like you read in the English. He surpassed High Priest Ariel. The brother was named Shalimar. So at the Passover, we used to just say, you read all the Hebrew. And he would, I couldn't do that. Ariel couldn't do that. But Ariel was good at it. And Ariel was able to speak to them small hats in their language too. It says, speak the language of Canaan. Where in Egypt? So how do we know well, that could be talking about ancient. First of all, the Israelites were speaking Hebrew in Egypt. That was their language, fool. This is a reviving of speaking in Hebrew again. So this Egypt has to be America. You brothers that's been in this thing for years, you know this is pretty much back to the basics. Speak the language of Canaan implies adopting, taking on the language of the Most High's people. We're Israelites, so shouldn't we be speaking Hebrew? Should not the name of our God have a Hebrew name to it? Possibly Hebrew. No, Hebrew. Not possibly, because the language of Canaan is Hebrew. Symbolizing religious or cultural conversion. What does conversion mean? Conversion means like a virtue. You know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Con meaning with. Let me do this. online. A lot of times this etymon they go off to. Supposed to give you the root of the word, which is the truth of the word. Et meaning truth, the study of truth. So let's see what comes up. Con to turn, turn ben. Change from one religion to another. That's not what I want. Transformation, a turning or changing from the state to another. Conversion mean is to get with the truth. Loosely translated, it means to get with the truth. It like if you convert to Judaism, it means you with the turn. You're turning around. You're being something else. Yeah, this doesn't. Like you get the word virtue means the truth. Let me see something. Virtue. Let me try virtue. I'll forget it. See, this is garbage too. Etymon online, it's garbage too. So now let's come back over here. I'm sorry. Cultural conversion. In other words, if you were a Buddhist and you became a Hindu, that's you converted to something else. So us not knowing that we Israelites and coming back to it, we converted back to who we really are. We found out who we really are in one of the 5 cities of Egypt. It says, so it says right here, speak the language of Canaan for a reason, so we can call on the name of the Lord. Swear to the Lord of hosts. So when we swear to the Lord of hosts, are we calling on Jesus the Christ? No, we're calling on, and we know some the language of Canaan, right? So we know the name of the Most High. Oh, we found out we were Israelites. We found out what the word Israel means, and we found out the name of the Israelites and his son's name. So we're going to call, the scriptures say, call on the name of the Lord, a declaration of allegiance to the Most High. Look, you ain't going to call, you're going to show allegiance to a guy named John, but his name is Paul. No, you're going to say, no, that's not my name. The city of destruction, we know what that is. Some manuscripts, like the Dead Sea Scrolls and Septuagint, instead read the city of the sun, likely referring to Heliopolis, which is ancient, actual Egypt, a major center of sun worship. Well, this is, America is, they worship the sun, which changes the tone dramatically. Now, what did I wanted to do? I was going to do something else. Let me try this. Give me scriptures on calling the name of the Lord in the Bible. Scriptures, not pictures. Okay, beautiful. One, that's one that I know well. Romans 10 and 13. Joel 2 and 32. It says several Bible verses emphasize the importance of calling on the name of the Lord for salvation. So now that we speak the language of Canaan, we know the Hebrew name, we know that who the true name is for salvation and deliverance. Romans 10:13, quoting Joel 2 and 32, declares, for whosoever shall call upon the name of Yahweh shall be saved. This theme is echoed in other passages like Acts 2:21, which states, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Yahweh shall be saved. Back to the basics. Additionally, 1 Corinthians 1 and 2 highlights the practice of believers calling upon the name of the Lord. So you just, we live in Puerto Rico, so we can call on the name Jesus. No, that's not his name. 35 Bible verses about calling on the name of the Lord. Romans 10:13, Psalms 124 and 8. Our help is the name of Yahweh who made heaven and earth. Zephaniah, for at that time, what time? Isaiah 2:19, in that time. In that day, as it says. For at that time, the time of what? Of the Most High bringing divine judgment against this place. We're in that time. We got to get right now before the Lord comes. If we're not right, we're going to get caught up in there. If you take that microchip, the mark of the beast, you're not going to make it. Okay, so it behooves you, and let's say I'm just going to throw out one name of a group. Well, I'll throw out two, ISUBK and IUIC and others. When it's time for you to take that chip and the leader of the group says there's nothing wrong with it, you can go ahead and take it, or I'm commanding you to take it, and you take it, that's on you. You can't tell the Most High, oh, well, he told me to take it. Well, you shouldn't have. Hey, the scripture said, cursed be the man that trusts in man. It said, back to the basics. For at that time, I will change the speech. This is beautiful. This is ESV. Normally we read this in the KJV. For at that time, at what time? The time of the Most High's divine judgment is getting ready to come down on this place. I will change the speech of the people to a pure speech. Isaiah 19, I believe this, Isaiah 19 and 18. That all of them, all of who? The elect, it's not all Israel, may call upon the name of Yahweh and serve him with one accord. Who's going to serve the Most High in one accord? The ones that woke up, the ones that are of the elect. That's also in, Hosea 3. Second Chronicles 7 verse 14. If my people who are called by my name humble themselves, part of humbling yourself is calling on the name of the Most High, not bucking up against it. I'm surprised they didn't give me 1 Kings, I believe that's 1 Kings 8. Is it? Is it 1 Kings 8 or 2 Kings 8? Let me do this. Right, afterward shall the children of Israel, so only elect, return and seek Yahweh. How are we going to seek Yahweh? By calling on his name. What did I say I was going to go? I was going to go somewhere. My memory just went off track. Bear with me for a minute. I was going to go to the Bible Hub. I don't need to go to the Bible Hub. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to make this too long. It's a little long. Anyway, with that, like I said, you picked the wrong group and you blindly listen to your leaders and don't use your own brain. And, you got to learn how to use your head for other than a hat rack. Then you're good. If you're one of the elect, you're going to be led to it. If you're not one of the elect, you're going to be led to a false teacher. Anyway, with that, shalom, on to the next shalom.